Now, we've all spent plenty of time analysing our reasons for the Coalition's disastrous election result, haven't we? We've all got our own theories. There was almost no difference, of course, between the Liberals and Labor in major policy areas except for housing, the housing policy that came out 6 days from the election. I reckon the Morrison government's decision to shore up seats in leafy areas by signing up to net zero was the final nail in the party's coffin. It just destroyed any policy differentiation between the two. As Dr Tanveer Ahmed writes in The Spectator today, as part of its rejuvenation, the Liberal Party can win back and further consolidate the ethnic vote by fighting for conservative values. Tanveer joins me now in the studio. Good to see you again, mate. Interesting piece you write because you focus on ethnic votes across, especially Western Sydney, but of course the same would apply to the other large cities in the country. And you say that ethnic communities are very focused on what should be core Liberal strengths, conservative family values and power prices.
Exactly. So, look, one thing, there's a silver lining in the election, and one of them is, when I say ethnic, I'm really referring specifically for Indian and Chinese. They're the two biggest groups.
And they're the two biggest
ethnic
immigration sources these days. Yeah.
And even when we say India, we can almost think South Asia, Pakistanis, Bangladeshis. Now, the big swing against the Libs were the Chinese. They swung big towards Labor. And when you kind of research it, it seemed to be a lot around Dutton's comments. It was a bit too confrontational. So that's a key area they can improve on.
Yep.
But underneath it, well, there were actually swings that there were votes that either stayed the same or actually swung towards the Libs among South Asian groups. And this was true in Parramatta, other parts of Western Sydney, including Melbourne. And this is a very interesting trend. So in this election, there were ethnic groups that swung towards the Libs. And I think there are some key reasons for that. And that's what I outline here. And all of them trend conservative.
And in a nutshell, what are those key reasons?
So one, very strong on family conservative values, socially conservative. Many voted against gay marriage. Even if they voted for gay marriage, they don't like excessive freedoms. This is focused on freedoms, rights. They've got a slightly dimmer view of human nature. They're anti-welfare dependents. You know, they'll be sceptical of that. And the climate thing is huge because, look, in India, during the height of Adani, many Indians were proud of Adani, that they're taking resources from the West and sending them back to India. Also, people from Asia, most of those countries, they know that their home countries need coal and they need to prosper. That's their path in terms of a barrier towards climate change. So all of those things overlap with conservative policies, and the trend is in conservative directions. And not just here, Chris, even internationally. The trends in the UK and North America, a lot of non-white ethnic groups are starting to trend conservative.
They should overlap with conservative or coalition policies, but they don't. The coalition has ceded a lot of that ground. The coalition ceded any real point of difference over climate policy. And even when it comes to talking about conservative family values, the Liberals go very squeamish, don't they? They didn't like defending Catherine Deves for saying that girls should only have to compete against girls.
Sure, I think they more firmly can differentiate themselves. I do think they can get a bit soft because where did they go? Remember, there's almost 10% of votes going to Liberal Democrat, United, One Nation. And last time, Chris, the Christian Democrat Party, they actually siphoned off heaps of votes and actually delivered Morrison a lot of seats. So this is a growing area, and it's a very fertile area for the Conservatives. But they need to get that Chinese vote back, at least a portion of it.
Interesting observations, Tanveer. And I can think of one man who might make a good Liberal Party candidate in some of these areas of Western Sydney.
Yeah, I'm not sure who that would be.
You've given it a go before. Thanks for joining us, Tanveer. Appreciate your time.
Pleasure. Thanks, Chris.